Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes the 20th and 45th best players in the NHL? Are you kidding me? We're going to get into that next. We're back full-time, baby, here on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome and thanks for hitting the play button on today's episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver and one of your co-hosts here on Locked On Canucks. Before we dive into the show, we want to thank you for tuning in. It's your team every day. Make sure you go subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. On today's episode, we got to talk about Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes. Where do they slot among the NHL stars? Okay, The Athletic came out with a list. I want to break it down and maybe give a take or two on it. Also got to talk about bringing back a familiar friend, Alex Edler. Are you serious?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mike. I thought you were going to say bringing back a familiar friend, Mike Babcock.
Oh, was he ever a friend? Oh man, we're going to touch on maybe Mike Babcock, but definitely Edler, Pettersson, and Hughes. But first and foremost, someone who is less controversial than the aforementioned Mike Babcock, Kyle Bhawan. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. Monday afternoon, recording this pod. You know, we back to full-time Monday to Friday. It was a good summer, a lot of reps in. And I think I'm ready, man. I think I'm really, really ready for this season. This all being said, dude, we got a lot of work to do when it comes to making sure we're in shape. Because, again, the Canucks, they need a lot of things to go their way this season. And yeah, Hughes and Patterson, we're going to talk about them. They got top end talent. Maybe they can pull the miracle off and do really well this season and go from one of the worst teams to one of the best teams. But if that's going to even stand a chance, instead of relying on luck, again, they got to be in the best shape of their life. Remember, people, Kyle Bhawan and Trevor Beggs at the end of this month are doing a push-up competition, not for charity and not even for our egos, just for the city, you know? Again, if we're asking the players to be in the best shape of their lives, we got to do it too. For real, accountability across the board here on Locked On Canucks. Comment Corner coming at you at the end of the show. Yeah, we do save the best for last, and we want to shout out all the fans, man. It was a good summer. Thanks for living with us through assumption. And I know we got to do it for a couple more weeks before the games start, but we really are grateful for all the new subscribers and listeners to the show. Before we do start talking about Hughes and Patterson being towards the top of the class when it comes to the best players in the league, I got to ask you the question, okay? Because it went through my mind. I think there was a 1% chance, maybe a 0.5% chance that Mike Babcock was going to be named the coach of the Vancouver Canucks, like way back when, okay? For real. The team was in turmoil. Aquilini, you know, he's Aquilini sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't have surprised us based on how chaotic this organization could be and how many wrong moves they've made, especially when it comes to the leadership positions in this team. I guess what I'm trying to say or ask is, what's your take on the whole Babcock situation and just the NHL in general? Because this wasn't small news. I don't think it was blown out of proportion too, but it was just super obscure and super random. And for it to go down the way it did was fresh and new for the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, my take on it is that Mike Babcock should never have been allowed back in the NHL. There was way too much smoke about other things, other stories that had transpired. And it's like, you could have seen this coming, you know, to be honest with you. And I at first I thought it was fascinating because everyone's crapping on Paul Bissonnette. Turns out he was right. So he's getting the last laugh. And of course, you know, Gaudreau and Werenski and Boone Jenner are coming out and saying like, oh, it's not a big deal. But again, those are the guys with, you know, I don't know about Werenski, but, you know, those guys with like, you know, a wife and kids and a dog. Like, yeah, of course they got no problem showing their phone. But the guys like the Adam Fantillis, the Kent Johnsons, the younger players on that team, the Cole Sillingers, I think they might have a problem with Mike Babcock going through their phones. And, you know, now there's reports that he was kind of going through and spending way more time on guys' phones than they should have. I mean, it kind of lines up with what Frankie Corrado was saying on Sakaris and Price, that he's a socially awkward guy who's a bit of a bully.
And, ooh, bad combination. If you really break down the psychology about that statement, like that's a weird combination, because if he's power hungry yet he doesn't have social skills, it could be gross.
Yeah.
right? Like that could be, like you're a weirdo. Yeah, again, it's like I'm into the notion that like whatever cancel culture is, like it's over and it's kind of like watered down. It's 2023. It's a little different now, but I think this is completely different. This is just, like you said, awkward and weird. And we like to look at it in the lens of like a sports team, but in any workplace, that's just like, yo, relax, man. What is wrong with you? Just chill out, yo. Chill out. I don't know what he find on my phone. Just photos of my dog. Again, I've said it many times. I'm a 100% Hindu. I don't know if it's across the board for all of us out there, but I'm not taking a lot of pics, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sexting like that. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not the best image or the biggest image. Where am I going with this? So yeah, Pettersson and Hughes. Pettersson and Hughes, are they being disrespected in this athletic power ranking poll that you might have read? I'm curious to know the numbers behind, again, what you just read about Hughes and Pettersson amongst the best players in the league.
Well, I'm even going to throw it back to you first and foremost. And I mean, the Athletic, I do love this list when it comes out. Again, it puts players in tiers. It's not when I say, I'll ask you this: do you think Patterson is the 20th best player in the NHL? That's what I want to ask you.
Genuinely speaking, no, I don't. I think he's in the top 10, but 20 is still a really powerful number, especially for a player that doesn't win games. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of see where that could come from, like that number of 20. It's 20 is not 27. It's not 35. Like he's top 20. In our eyes, he's top 10. But I think you and I can both agree that if Pettersson wants to take the next step in his career and be amongst the best, go ahead and do all this individual things on the ice, be a magician, marvel, do things that nobody else can do. But you got to win games to be respected. It's just the truth.
Yeah, and it does come back to winning at the end of the day. But I did find this list kind of interesting because I even look at players in his own tier and I'm like, I think Pettersson's better than probably every player in this tier.
Ooh,
but I'll go through it really quickly for you. What's that, bud?
I said, say it. I'm curious, man.
So the way the Athletic has it done, so they have tier 1 is the MVP tier. So 1A is McDavid, he's in a tier of his own. 1B was Draisaitl, McKinnon, Matthews, Makar. 1C was Hughes, Pastrnak, Tkachuk, and Fox. Now, I think you can make the argument for Pettersson being in that 1C tier. Because I think Tkachuk and Pettersson had comparable seasons. The only difference was that, Tkachuk and the Panthers made the playoffs and Pettersson did not. I think underlying numbers wise, Pettersson and Tkachuk, Pastrnak and Pettersson are very comparable. Jack Hughes as well. I mean, Pettersson's put up, bigger numbers than Hughes, but I think at the end of the day, Hughes is younger, gets more of the benefit of the doubt. So I could see Pettersson being in that 1A, that 1C tier, and being, a top 10 player in the NHL. But anyways, that was 1C. So 2A was Sidney Crosby, Kirill Kaprizov, Nikita Kucherov, Mitch Marner, Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson, and Charlie McAvoy. So Pettersson's in the next tier, 2B. But I look at that 2A tier and I'm thinking, does Pettersson get disrespected a bit here? I kind of think so.
Yo, just squeeze him in there. No, for real, dude. Squeeze him in there. He belongs in that tier. But man, oh man, I know Kirill Kaprizov hasn't done a lot of winning, but he's a damn good player. He's up there. He really is. He's electrifying and he's so good with the puck. And he's a unique player. Like I've seen a couple games from him and he always stands out. It's a pretty obvious. He belongs in that upper echelon tier as well, where we think Pettersson belongs. But yeah, squeeze him in there. Come on, bro. What are you doing? What's going on here? That's this. You know what that is? That's whoever put this together. Was it like the whole industry, like the whole
it was Dom Lucian, Sean Gentili, and Shayna Goldman.
Yeah. Okay. So I can't
East Coast bias.
I can't confirm this, but you're not watching 80 Pettersson games. You're not even watching 35. Maybe you're watching 17 and then you're looking at the stat sheet. That's how you put him behind those guys, or not at least within that frame of players. But again, this goes back to Pettersson needing to win games so the East Coast can see more of the Canucks and see more of him, and not to always tie everything back to the contract and the next contract and assuming and living in the future. But if Pettersson wants to get paid like a Matthews or get up 12.5 plus, again, go ahead and do all this individualistic stuff, but you have to pair it up with winning. Like winning really, really matters, and winning does fix everything. And not that he really cares so much about charts like this, but if you want to fix your position in a player ranking system, yeah, win games and win games now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Canucks have always been victim to that East Coast bias, right? Because again, our games are on at 10 p.m. at night. I'm actually going to be in Ottawa for the Canucks home opener. I'm going to be
Whoa.
watching the game at 10 at night. It's a hard thing to do if you got a family. Not saying these guys have families. I don't really know, but
Holy, no,
but
it is a
yeah,
hard thing to do. Come on, man. 10 to watching the game at 10 o'clock. Like, okay, I go to sleep like 12 o'clock almost every night, 12 to 1. I'm on my phone, just screwing around. I got to fix things in my life. Okay. I'm not perfect, far from it. But I think if you're putting together a system like this or a ranking system like this to put on for the game, because we're talking about the Athletic, we're talking about those three names, they have a big audience. Dude, if that's your responsibility, I'm sorry. Especially for talking about Elias Pettersson, you got to stay up and watch those games. You
yeah,
got it.
100%. I agree. So I was kind of pissed off that Patterson got disrespected here, but I think Quinn Hughes got really disrespected. So Quinn Hughes was in tier 3B. Ugh, are you kidding me? Tier 3B
Yep.
for Quinn Hughes. This guy, when you look at Norris rankings, projections proves going to win the Norris this upcoming season. I mean, Hughes is top 5 on pretty much every list. So I'll break it down by just defensemen. I think that's probably a fair assessment. So again, I mentioned Makar in tier 1B, Adam
No,
Fox
go
in
through the whole go through the whole list. Can you do it? Like, I'm being selfish right now. Just
yeah,
the
okay.
hockey
So
nerd
all
on.
right. Well, so I
Sorry to
listed
change things
everyone
up
up
on you.
to tier 2A there. But the defensemen, in case you missed it, were Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Charlie McAvoy in tier 2A, Miro Heiskanen, Roman Josi in tier 2B. And then from tier 2C, you have Rupe Hintz, Nico Hischier, Brad Marchand, Rasmus Dahlin, Victor Hedman, Erik Karlsson. I know Karlsson had 100 points, but he was so porous defensively. I mean, I would have Quinn Hughes at least the same tier as Karlsson personally. So that's tier 2C. Tier 3, this is the all-star tier. You have Johnny Gaudreau, William Nylander, Artemi
Oh my
Panarin,
god,
Mark
dude.
Stone, Tim Stützle, Tage Thompson, Hampus Lindholm, Jakob Slavin, Devin Taves. Those guys are all in a tier above
Oh
Quinn
man, this is
Hughes.
not right, dude. This ain't right, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Who are these three riders again? I know I'm just Kyle Bound, and I just got here. But y'all ain't doing your job. Y'all ain't doing your job. The league needs better representation. They need to, and like star power really matters. And those players are stars in their own regard. But we're talking about Quinn Hughes. This dude, did he say William Nylander?
Yeah.
Get the yo,
And Johnny Gaudreau.
dude,
Johnny Gaudreau was terrible last season.
dude. That is beyond disrespectful. That ain't right. That ain't right, yo. Unbelievable. You know what? Okay, I guess you want to finish off the list because I'm just pissed off right now. Finish it off. Like who's in the Hughes list?
Yeah,
I'm
so
mad, yo.
in tier 3B, that's where you'll find Quinn Hughes. In that tier as well as Jake Gensel, Timo Meyer, Andrei Svechnikov, Brady Tkachuk, Mika Zibanejad, and then in terms of defensemen, you have Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore.
Dude,
That's
Quinn
the tier that
Hughes.
Hughes is in. I think it's the wrong tier. That's 100% the wrong tier for Quinn Hughes, and it's that dang East Coast bias.
It is.
Look,
bro.
I mean, look at the guys in that tier. I mean, Dougie Hamilton, the East Coast loves Dougie Hamilton. We spent a good chunk of his career out there. Loved by analytics guys, Pietrangelo and Shea Theodore. Just helped Vegas win a cup. Again, they're great defensemen, but Vegas has the depth. That's part of the reason they won the cup. I mean, if Hughes was on a team with depth, I think Hughes is probably in like tier 2A, to be honest with you, up with like Charlie McAvoy.
Good answer, Trevor. I F with that. That's a good answer. And a part of me wants to take a breath and throw away the West Coast bias and really think about Hughes's position in the amongst the best in the league. And I'm going to do that right now. No, I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. He's amongst the best, bro. We're not over evaluating him. Yes, we're demanding wins so he gets the respect he deserves. But we're talking about a guy that game in and game out. And when Hughes gets better every summer, he's fixed up his defensive game. He's going to get better at that. And offensively, this guy's quarterbacking for the last 2 years, if I'm correct, like one of the best power plays in the league. It's just, man, that's some disrespect right there, man. That is, again, if you're putting on for the game, and if you're a hockey writer and you got to write reports like this and spread, again, the awareness amongst all fans across the board and just maybe casual hockey fans too, you got to stay up. You got to stay up and watch 10 o'clock games. It's the truth. It's the
Yeah.
truth. Unless, you got children and stuff like that, and it may be a little different. But, dude, if you don't, I don't think there's an excuse, yo. You get paid to do your job, not sleep on your job. It's just the truth. You got to throw that excuse away. Oh, the games are on late. It's game 27 for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm not going to watch this. They're not playing on Saturday. They're not playing the Leafs. They're not playing the Canadiens. They're not playing the Rangers. I'm not going to watch the game. Nah. If you a hockey writer and you get paid to do something that you're pretty lucky to do, let's be honest, let's be real, do your job. Stop sleeping on the job and watch the games, especially the games that involve the best players in the league. And Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson are those guys. Yo, Quinn Hughes, he got slapped, yo. That's so somebody's got to, that there's like that. I know we're running the first segment pretty long here. I'm sorry, higher ups. I'm sorry, higher ups on the East Coast. We got to do it because the truth matters, okay? So this episode might be a little long. It is what it is, but we got to defend the boys, the West Coast bias. It's just the truth. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, Quinn Hughes, hyper competitive, really competitive. He's got that quiet cockiness to him. I wish I had that cockiness. Sometimes I'm a little too loud, okay? But he has that quiet, like, cerebral cockiness to him. Somebody's got to show him this list. Whether it be a media member or somebody on the team, somebody's got to show him this list.
Yeah, I completely agree. And maybe let's leave it up to our commentators. Are we too bullish on Hughes and Patterson, or is it that damn East Coast bias over the Athletic that needs to sort itself out? Locked On Canucks versus the Athletic. Let's go, baby. On the other side, speaking of love for Canucks, how about Alex Edler love, man? Are we giving Alex Edler some love? Find out on the other side. Okay, save your.
Dude, I'd rather have Mike Babcock on the team than Alex Edler.
Oh my geez.
Whoa.
Okay, let's
cut the break. Cut the break.
Show.
Cut the break, yeah.
Locked On Canucks just got canceled. Okay, well, coming up on the other side, a little Alex Edler PTO talk. But first, everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why Jace Medical, they offer the Jace case, baby. The Jace case provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use and gives you peace of mind so that you're not just hoping that you have access to medication in an emergency. You just have it, okay? Because Jace Medical, they got it for you. Jace Medical, they make sure you have the medication in hand. Jace Medical is simple. They handle everything from the online evaluation to licensed pharmacy medication delivery and ongoing consultation and care. Don't get caught unprepared. Save more than $360 by getting these life-saving antibiotics with Jace Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using code LOCKEDON at checkout. That's jacemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com with the promo code LOCKEDON.
People, before we get back to the show, baby, I gotta tell you that new episodes of Locked On Canucks will be available wherever you stream podcasts and on YouTube at 4:20 p.m. for no reason at all, okay? New episodes every day at 4:20 p.m. Again, wherever you stream podcasts and on YouTube. Let's get back to the show. Okay. You're back on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. Subscribe, hit the like button. It helps us out a lot, okay? I'm trying to make my mama proud. And Trevor Beggs, he's trying to buy his children Christmas gifts this holiday season, okay? For real. We got you, though, man, because we're devoted, man. We're devoted to Canuck fans across the world. I stole that line from Packers podcast I listen to every day. But we are devoted, man. Like, you got me addicted. Back on the Canucks, and I can't wait for this year because even though this experience with the fans, is a beautiful thing, and I'm super grateful to be talking to the people, our studios, and Beggsy, again, super grateful to be doing this as part of our day-to-day operation in our careers. But I feel as if the addiction to the Canucks is going to allow more escapism in my life because I'm going to be watching way more hockey, and I'm going to do my best to not just like analyze the games because I'm just a fan first. I'm just going to enjoy it, man. I'm just going to enjoy 82 Canuck games this season and maybe more. Well, no, I'm guaranteeing more. I'm sorry. In April and early May. Because the Canucks, we're making the playoffs, man. And we're making the playoffs because, A, we didn't hire Mike Babcock. Dude, you know what's funny about the Babcock thing? Like, everyone's talking about the Biz Nasty quote and how he's a hero now. And like, if you really watch that clip, it's pretty funny. I think he refers to Boone Jenner's penis like 3 times during that clip. And that's ultimately the clip that altered the course of an NHL franchise. No, I swear. I'm pretty sure I heard it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of old NHLers that want to be Paul Bissonnette, but he's just the guy, isn't he? I don't know, man. I'm still rattled that William Nylander's in a tier above Quinn Hughes, to be honest with
Dude,
you.
that's
Freaking
BS,
East Coast
man.
bias. Quinn Hughes might have more points than William Nylander next season. I'm just saying, okay? Kyle, you
Dude,
talk about the Canucks being a playoff team next season. Could Alex Edler push them over the hump? What do you think,
no
man?
way.
Old Alex Edler, unsigned free agent. The Canucks have a hole on their left side third pairing, man. Could Alex Edler be the guy to fill that role?
No way. It's over, man. I don't want any of that noise, dude. Any of that noise. Thank you, Edler, for your service. Thank you for being the most mediocre top franchise defenseman of all time. Let's be honest. Like, like in what other, power ranking system across sports in general in a position did you have like somebody be at the top of that list being like 81 overall? Maybe like a Chicago Bears wide receiver or
I
quarterback.
was thinking this is a bad example because the Giants won 2 Super Bowls, but if Eli Manning never won, Eli Manning and Alex Edler kind of make me think it's
Oh
the same guy.
man. Unbelievable. No, they just got to, the Canucks, they got to move on and it's got to be brand new. And I don't think, not to say like Alex Edler was a leader. Like, who knows? He was there for a long time. I'm sure he was a true professional. And maybe that was just like the standard to get a letter on your jersey and whatnot, right? But that whole room has to change. And the leadership committee just changed. And I think they would take a step backwards if they brought in somebody from the old regime to be in that room. And I know we're just talking about skill and a player and how to make this team better. But we're talking about an older Alex Edler. I'm not sure about his micro stats, his data. I'm not sure how good he was last year. But it definitely is not the time to bring back somebody like Edler to be the fifth or sixth defenseman on this team to challenge Akito or Willanen or whomever is going to be that sixth defenseman. Maybe even a push out Myers, but yeah, I don't know, man. No, actually, I do know this is not going to happen, and it better not happen. It better not happen. How about you? What do you think?
You know, I lean no, but I probably see both sides a bit better than you do. And I'll tell you why. I think, Edler at this point in his career shouldn't be an everyday defenseman if he does come back to the NHL. And I'll preface by saying that he does want to come back, at least based on his exit interview in April, May from the LA Kings. When asked if he was going to continue playing, he told reporters, quote, "I'm not sure. The easy answer would be to keep playing until I'm 45 or something like that. But there's a lot of factors with getting a new contract, seeing how the body feels, and talking to my family. We'll see, but I would like to play as long as I can." So it certainly sounds like the unsigned Edler wants to return to the NHL. And obviously there was a lot of talk that he didn't want to leave Vancouver, right? Didn't he block a trade at some point? Reportedly, we don't know for sure. But he fluxes no trade clause at some point in his career here in Vancouver. I will say with Edler, again,
I think he did. I remember that. I
yeah,
think he did.
I'm pretty. I don't want to say it was for sure, but it was reported pretty widely during like later in his Canucks career. So he clearly loves the city. Like met his wife here, and his kids were born here, and all that good stuff. So you can see if he wants to play somewhere else, I'm sure he'd want to come back to Vancouver. Again, at this point in his career, no more than a 6th, 7th defenseman. He shouldn't be playing every night. I think he could help on the PK. Like that's the big area where he's had a success in the NHL. The main problem with Edler, obviously, is he doesn't really have the wheels, can't skate that well anymore. Still takes a lot of minor penalties. And you look at the third pairing, and unless Tyler Myers gets waived, Tyler Myers your third pairing right shot defenseman. Can you imagine the Canucks had Edler and Tyler Myers as their third pairing on defense to start the year?
Yeah, what is this, 2013? It's not going to
brutal.
happen, man. It's not going to happen. And in regards to Edler saying that he continues to have this passion for the game and he wants to play, obviously you'd want to play till you're 45 and travel North America with the boys and eat great meals and play hockey. Living the dream, dude. Obviously, bro. Dude, that's the dream, man. Spending a lot of time with your bros, don't get me wrong, I love my girl and there's a great chance she's my future wife, but come on, man, like hanging out with your bros every day because I gotta, not getting like her annoyed by it because like it's the job. Like, come on, bro, it's the greatest gig in the world, dude. It really is. Yeah, I was thinking of because again, like let's scratch this Edler topic, okay? I was thinking about this. It's Monday, Locked On Canucks, your team every day. A little bit of Kyle Bhawan talk here, okay? I was thinking about getting my girl a Jordan Love jersey. I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan. I was thinking of her getting her that jersey for Christmas, right? And just planting the seed. and maybe making her into not only just a diehard sports fan, but a diehard Packers fan. Maybe she'll actually like it. And then 10 years from now, when we're moved in and we're living together, and maybe it's not a big deal if I invite the boys over every Sunday because she gets it. You know what I'm saying? So how about that type of investment? Do you you work in the industry? Like that's a great thinking, right? Like it's for her, or is it for me? If I get her that jersey, I think, it has Jordan Love on the back. Love, I could really cast a spell right now.
If you want to use me as an example, I mean, my wife has a Russell Wilson jersey, and I had my buddy over for week 1 of the NFL season to watch football. So, I mean,
holy,
there you go,
and
man.
she made you nachos. And she made you nachos.
And she made me nachos. Yeah, exactly.
And you got a newborn.
Yeah.
Dude.
The pathway's there for you, buddy. Just
unbelievable. Dude, I'm going to do it, man. Jordan, I can make it romantic, right? She opens up the gift. It says love on the back. Write her a nice card. This ain't about the Packers. It's about love. You got my back just like my quarterback has my back. Boom, bam.
There you go.
Anyways, you're Canucks every day. Comment corner on the other side. Do you have anything else to say about Alex Edler? I hope you don't, man. Don't pull out the micro stats, okay? It's not happening. Don't put this out in the air.
No, I'm all done on the Edler talk. Let us know in the comments how you feel about Edler returning to the Canucks on the PTO. Kyle, you did talk about NFL there, Jordan Love, and all that good stuff. Well, guess what, okay? I got to shout out FanDuel because you can snap into NFL action this season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you just place a $5 bet, okay? That's like 2 Timmy's coffees, okay? It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time than now to get in on the action. The app, it's so easy to use, okay? There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So go visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Okay. We back here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bhawan, Comment Corner coming at you in 1 or 2 minutes, right? We're going to think about you and give you the floor. But before I do so, I got to do it because this question matters, man. You got to ask your friends this question every now and then. How you doing, Trevor?
Hey, man, I'm not doing all right. I went to Bowen Island for the first time this weekend.
Oh, Bowen Island this weekend. It sounded like you said, I'm not doing all right. Is it because you much rather be at home eating nachos and watching football instead of hanging out with your family? Like,
no.
Was that like
my Seahawks won? That's all that mattered. I got to go to Bowen Island with some friends that are moving away, so that part's sad. But like I said, explored a new part of beautiful BC, and I got to spend some time with friends and family, man. So I'm doing good. How are you doing, brother? I should probably ask you that.
No, you do ask me that question all the time at the top of the show, but we get right into it. But all in all, I'm doing good, and even though my team lost yesterday, you beat the Lions, which makes things a little easier. And it is what it is. I don't got expectations on that side of my sports fandom. But on this side, I do with the Vancouver Canucks, and they got to make the playoffs. Speaking of which, I got this comment that kind of talked about it. Let's get to it on Comment Corner.
Welcome to Comment Corner, powered by Paraphrasing.
Today's comment comes from our friend Holden.
I truly believe both the Kings and Canucks improve this year and enter the playoffs. In other words, screw the Calgary Flames.
Okay. Thanks for the comment. This made me think a lot because even though I do believe the Vancouver Canucks are going to make the playoffs, it's hard to be so bullish on them being a lot better than the Kings. And even if the Canucks are going to make the playoffs, like who falls out? Because the Pacific is pretty decent. Like it's strong. You know what I'm saying? And this comment alluded to the fact that both the Kings and the Canucks make it. And that's kind of hard for me to guarantee because I feel as if one is happening and not the other. Beggsy, what's your take on this?
Yeah, Eddie Garcia asked me this on, it was on our network here on Locked On Canucks, but Eddie Garcia from Locked On Kings asked me, like, how many teams from the Pacific will make it, okay? And I said likely 5. And I'll tell you why. I do think the Pacific Division arguably is one of the deepest in hockey because you look at, I see it in 3 tiers. I see Edmonton, Vegas, and LA in 1 tier. I see Vancouver, Calgary, and Seattle in the next tier. I mean, Calgary, again, they don't seem to be much of a contender on paper, but I can certainly see them pulling it together because that's just what Calgary does, right? When you think they're going to be bad, they end up being pretty good. Seattle, I could just think they had too much good luck last season. I could see them falling out. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is like Edmonton, Vegas, LA top 3, and Vancouver and Calgary kind of in the wild card spots. Because you look at the Central too, and it is a bit of a crapshoot. I mean, Dallas is a cup contender, Colorado's a contender, Minnesota's pretty good, but after that, like I'm not really bullish on anybody. Like Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis, Arizona, Chicago. I personally see 5 teams from the Pacific making it in. I think Winnipeg may have something to say about that, but yeah, I could easily see 5 teams in the Pacific making the playoffs next season.
Yeah, like I think I only see 4 teams because I feel as if.
Who do you like from the Central making it aside from Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado?
You know what? Instead of me answering that question, why don't you? Yes, the listener of this podcast or viewer of this experience, let us know in the comments below if any of those teams that Trevor just mentioned in the Central Division surprise us / boot the Canucks out of wild card contention in the Western Conference. Again, let us know in the comments below. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, you have the option to comment on episodes too. It's pretty simple. Just click the episode and have at her, okay? Let's get back to the show.
You really just suggested that a Jordan Binnington-led team can make the playoffs. I'm disappointed in you.
And I said Mike Babcock is better than Alex Edler. Dude, we're done, dude. It's over. It was a nice run, Locked On Canucks.
Yeah,
It really was.
It
Really was. It really was. Okay.
That
That was another episode of Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. We're back on that full-time-ish. I do believe on Wednesday or Thursday, we are recording an episode with Locked On Senators because we're having that debate. Who's going to win a Stanley Cup first? The Ottawa Senators or the Vancouver Canucks? And I'm not going to front. I was pretty disappointed in our fans. Maybe they're too smart. Maybe they're being realistic. But when we did that episode talking about, that question, and I was on the boat solo, dude, I had no backup in the comments. The comments were full of all Ottawa Senators fans, and they said that they had a team that was 97% better than the Vancouver Canucks. They said that Tim Stützle and Brady Tkachuk were way better than Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson and all that jazz. And again, I had no backup in the comments. So me and Beggsy are going to war. We're going to war this Wednesday or Thursday with the boys, Ross and Brandon. And that debate's going to happen. And you know what, Trevor? I like to, again, give a lot of props to our fans, but I think we're going to have to win this one on our own, for real. So that one's coming up later this week. And yeah, just super grateful for the listenership and the viewership. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave us a review wherever you listen to this on that podcatching platform. Beggsy, sign us out.
All right. Shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners. If this is your first time listening, hey, the season's getting underway, baby. I can't wait. Let's go. Preseason this weekend. Young Stars going on right now. We will touch on the Canucks Young Stars, who we like to play games in the NHL next season from the Young Stars tournament on another episode this week. Going to battle against the Ottawa Senators. Going to talk training camp battles. That's all coming up on another couple episodes of Locked On Canucks. But for now, I'm Trevor Begg. That guy's Kyle Bhawan. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.